So, hello, friends. Very happy New Year, and thank you for joining today's first quarterly business meeting of 2025, SIOP Global Health Network. I'm Mohammed Saghir Khan, along with my friend Federico, co-chairs of SIOP Global Health Network. So, this is our first meeting of 2025. So, this is the main agenda points we are going to cover in this meeting. So because it's a like a open for forum format, so if you have any questions, so please raise your hands or put it in the chat, so we can keep it as a interactive session. So welcome to all who have joined. So special welcome to our new co-chairs of working groups, Muhammad Al Zambli from Egypt, Roberto Campos from Chile, and Shushan Hovsepian from Armenia, and all members and participants of SIOP Global Health Network. I got apologies from Mire. She might attend, but maybe her slides will be presented by Michael McNeil. So just overviewing the same thing about GHN and how does it work. It was started in 1990 by late Professor Hans-Peter Wagner and Peter Hessling. So our focus is on low resource settings, uh, addressing the unmet needs of children with cancer by fostering practical guidance for delivering cancer care for health care professionals for low resource settings. And it's evolved into a multidisciplinary collaboration forum for research, education, and advocacy in line with SIOP's vision and mission. We have 7 active working groups, and co-chairs for GHN as well as the working groups represent from low middle income countries and high income countries as well. We have internal collaboration within SIOP's other networks and engagement with external stakeholders as well. As of today, we have 1,100 plus members in this network. Of course, all are SIOP members who have interest in SIOP Global Health Network. So how does it function? It's basically functional unit of GHN are the working groups. The working groups and network itself is aligned with the SIOP strategy and engagement with SIOP continental branches. We communicate through SIOP Connect, which is an efficient portal for communication and getting the people, the members engaged. And we have a very active SIOP GHN WhatsApp group also, mainly for communication and sharing the updates. So basically, what's the hierarchy? GHN members can potentially interact with working group leaders, whichever the working group they are part of. Then internal collaboration within the same working group and with other GHN working groups and SIOP networks and committees. And all is through connection with GHN co-chairs and then SIOP leadership and collaboration with external partners. So on the right side, you can see the QR code, which will take you to the WhatsApp group of SIOP GHN if you want to join us. So these are the 7 working groups. So we'll go each of them about what are their plans.
Exactly. Thank you very much for the introduction, Mark. That's the idea to
kindly keep your microphones muted unless you're talking. So we have 7 working groups. So we'll discuss about details about these working groups in the next part of the meeting. So we have revision of terms of reference in 2024. Some salient features of these revisions were there are 2 elected co-chairs with at least 1 co-chair must live and work in LMIC. That is called as LMIC co-chair. This is the previous version I'm telling. while the second co-chair can be from low, middle, or high income countries. This is called as general co-chair. Both co-chairs are members of SIOP board of directors. This is what is prevailing right now that will continue until October 2025. But thereafter, there is a new change effective from October onward. Is only one elected chair of SIOP GHN must live and work in LMIC. That is basically the chair of GHN. It's not a co-chair. And that will be a board position. While the elected vice chair can belong to any income setting, and that vice chair will not be a board level position. For working group, it's mandatory to have at least 3 non-Congress activities each year for each of the working groups. This is part of the revised terms of reference, and it's implemented already. Also, although it's still not formally functional, but we formed the core steering group for 2024-2025, which includes both co-chairs until 2025 October, and subsequently there will be both chair and the vice chair will be the CSC members, and then one co-chair of each working group, preferably the senior co-chair, is part of the CSC, the core steering group of SIOP GHN. And this is basically the governing body, or the day-to-day activities are managed by this CSC. So we have these 7 members at 7 representatives from the working groups, along with Federico and I, are part of CSG. Another thing which we haven't fully implemented is the advisors group. That is also a part of revised version. This will be SIOP. This is because the SIOP GHN seeks advice from SIOP GHN advisors. These are not the voting positions, and meets at least once a year, but may meet frequently when required, and will advise on strategic goals, planning, and actions relating to the GHN. Its composition is all GHN co-chairs or chair and vice chair implemented from October 2025. All co-chairs of GHN working groups, all former PODC or GHN co-chairs, up to 6 nominated members, eligible nominees will be former GHN working group co-chairs formally endorsed by CSC. This is still not implemented. Maybe we will ask the nominations in February to efficiently add them to the advisors group. And then ex officio members, which include SIO presidents, secretary general, and 6 continental presidents. So our first formal meeting of this advisors group, we will try to conduct it during Amsterdam SIOP meeting, but of course before, if we need any further discussions. And this is the working group leadership. So we have 7 working groups, as I said. So you can see those listed in green. They have just recently joined. We congratulate them and welcome them on their positions. Sushan from Armenia, she has replaced Venkat Raman from India as the co-chair of Research and Innovation Working Group. Then Traditional and Complementary Medicine Working Group, Muhammad Al-Qodimat has stepped down after really energizing the working group. Now Roberto Gelders has joined, is from Chile. So welcome on board, Roberto. And then Partnership Working Group, Nita Radhakrishnan stepped down, and Mahmoud Al-Zambli from Egypt has taken over this position from Egypt. So we are really grateful to the past leaders, Venkat, who really contributed a lot for a research and innovation working group very efficiently. It was basically a start of this working group they took on along with Caitlin. And then Muhammad Al Kudimat, I said, and NITA for Partnership Working Group. So we congratulate and thank their efforts for GHN and these their respective working groups. And of course, we expect them to to keep their keep mentoring and contributing to these working group activities. I can't see any chat because it's usually it's difficult. So maybe Federico, if you find something, just interrupt me, or if somebody raises the hand.
Yes, I will keep an eye on the chat.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Federico. Then the leadership transition, which is going to take place in this year. So first is I'm going to step down in October 2025 after a 6 years long tenure. So I would be replaced by the vice chair. As I said, it will be chair will be Federico. He will continue, and we are just in the election process for the vice chair position. And then the working groups co-chairs. Every working group is going to have transition this year. So Caitlin, then Ahmed, and Caesar, Bilal, Michael, Gabby, and Ayushi. They are completing their 3 years terms, but we will vigilantly think about if we want to invite somebody to extend a little bit, if there is a reason for having a smooth transition, because there are a lot of changes took place already in 2024. So, but 3 years will be completed for these working groups for these 7 leaders. About the vice chair position, as I said, elections are in process, and the nomination has completed. And I'm glad to tell you that we got 10 nominees from 10 different countries for this vice chair position. So as you said, we say that all nominees must be SIOP members in good standing. So I believe the nominations which have been sent to us are all good standing SIOP members. The candidates demonstrating serious commitments to SIOP GHN, either as current or recent working group leader or other senior leadership relevant to GHN are encouraged. So this is the part of the terms of reference. I just copied from terms of reference. Then the clause B of this election process is the final nomination slate. No more than 3 candidates will be determined by GHN CSC based on their contributions and leadership roles in SIOP and SIOP GHN, their track records in LMIC research and education, and their CV and motivation letters. So we have all this information, and we have started scanning through, the CSC along with Federico and myself. So once a slate of no more than 3 candidates is created, it will be submitted to SIOP board of directors. So we are in a process of just reviewing the nominations with all the information provided. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time, we will hand it over to SIOP board of directors. What will be the final slate of 3 candidates out of those 10 nominees? And of course, the final decision will be in board of directors, and then it will be the elections. And the elections, the voters can only be those who are SIOP members in good standing. So fingers crossed. Let's see who will be the next leader for SIOP Global Health Network. Then just let me say it again. I think we discussed in last 2 meetings, but these are all important points which we need to consider always, which came up from our last year's SWOT analysis. So one is regular or scheduled meetings of working group co-chairs with GHN co-chairs and CSC members. So we thought it could be like twice a year, and that could be for progress monitoring, brainstorming, and guidance. So this will not be our open meeting. So we did this activity one meeting in July last year, and most likely we will do another one in the first quarter of this year with the working groups and ourselves, including all CSC members, to have more concrete planning and the brainstorming. Then opportunities to collaborate with other networks and committees, that is also very important, and it should be on the leaders' the topmost priorities, because we should not duplicate and we should try to strengthen each other's instead of because it's a one professional society we're working for. Then most GHN members are unaware of how to engage in a meaningful way. That is also very important. And we all at working group levels as well as higher up levels, we should be very vigilant and consider this point. Then virtual listening sessions with GHN membership would allow the co-chairs to hear from members who cannot make the quarterly meetings. So for this, I'm going to propose an open forum meeting, maybe in the second quarter of 2025, where there will be no slides. It will be just like a maybe 90-minute session where we will invite all GHN members and let them say what they think about GHN and what are their expectations, or they have any concerns or any suggestions or whatever. Then the GHN or working group co-chairs should be vigilant that professional research projects are not considered working group output. So guidance for members to excel in their research orientation is the key point, instead of just sharing the personal accomplishment or personal research. So even in the slides or reports, it should be clearly mentioned that what is being achieved by the working group instead of the working group co-chair only. And these all points came up from the SWOT analysis, so we should take it as positively. And advocacy drives with advocacy committee and other stakeholders must be considered. So we would take it from here. Let's be all leaders and all members. We request you all to try to implement these points in this year's progress of SIOP Global Health Network. So SIOP 2024 Congress, unfortunately, I was not a part of that meeting. So I would request Federico to update us about what were actually the salient features or the highlights of SIOP 2024 in Hawaii. Federico, over to you. Oh, sorry, I have to keep the slides on.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to all. Actually, the meeting in Hawaii was really intense and hardworking for all. A long trip for many of us. We had 20 scholarships from the different countries, total of 16 different countries and 20 scholarships given to assist the SIOP in Hawaii. You can see the names and the countries. We're not going to go through every one of them, but it was informed in the last meeting. And we move to the next slide. Then we have the education day. We got the best of GN3 paper sessions. Also navigating oncology access to care. And there we explore addressing struggles and exploration solutions with the different groups. Also addressing psychosocial and well-being in pediatric oncology. Disease-specific learning and networks, and updates on global pediatric campaigns. And we have the next. On Saturday, we have several different activities. We had the meeting, the annual business meeting also, where everybody presented and it was approved by all members of SIOP. The Spotlight in Global Health Network, that we cover several issues like access to essential medications, what's going on with global mapping, what's going on with World Health Organization, what's going on with the area guides. It was really an important meeting. Can I have the next? Then in our last meeting, where we met with several of the leaders, we have important insights. And I asked the members to write to me all their ideas and about what we think we can improve. And I got emails from Mike McNeil and from Gabby, and these are the main insights that we have from them. I'm going to read them out loud. One of the biggest challenges is the lack of clarity regarding the specific goals of GHN working groups in relation to strategic plan for SIOP. And I think all these ideas are great, and we need to think about them and how we can improve as a GNH group. The strict requirements regarding having separate working group activities, these obligatory 3 activities through the year shows the risk of dissolving the working group. He's like little hearts. So what happens is low effort activities become the default. So we need to think about if 3 is it's many activities, because there's activities not only inside but in other groups. There are opportunities to be more intentional in mapping the educational activities and think about more engagement with the working group to maximize the impact. Can I have the next slide, please? As a palliative care working group, they are interested in considering about palliative care, not just as an GHN working group, but an effort of SIOP as a whole, just like nursing and other working groups have been integrated. There was like a feeling, a sentiment that around the table there seemed to be a bit of disconnect between how we are separate than what is happening at the SIOP level. So we need to think about this. Then this was the input by Gabby. I think perhaps she will talk about a little about this, but that webinars are very time consuming to organize. And there is a challenge of the attendees due to the different in time zone logistics. We have everybody has this problem, so there's difficulty in reaching a large number of people to meet in these meetings. So she proposes 2 initiatives: the Coffee Talks of Charlas de Café. This project involves interviews with adult and young people with cancer, meeting oncologists, patients, nurses to address specific related topics that could be very interesting for the AYA groups. And the Local Champions Program, this initiative aims to foster connection between the pediatric and adult societies. So there, at that point, they were still finalizing the details, so perhaps she has an update. These were the insights that I received, and I think we should brainstorm on them. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Federico. Thank you, Michael and Gabby, for the specific inputs. Yeah, definitely. I think we should try to take most of these points for the palliative care working group. We can discuss if there is a you receive an email, then we can take it to discussion within CSC, and if needed, we can discuss within we can send it to the governance committee for taking debt review. But actually, the idea is right, but basically, palliative care so far is focusing on LMICs more, low resource settings up till now, because usually HICs, I don't know, there is so much need as compared to what we are doing for LMICs. And thanks, Gabby, for these points. And I saw some emails about the planning, and we will hear from you just in a short while. So then let's move to the any comments or suggestions before go to the next agenda from anyone in the room? Yes, please, Regine.
Hi everyone, dear Sagir and Federico. Hi to you as co-chairs and all the group members. Sorry for my voice. I think the Global Health Network is a very important network and is doing a lot with its working groups. Thank you to you as co-chairs and also to everyone, every member, chairs, co-chairs of the working groups and all of them. As you have shown the last slide where it was written that the webinars may be time consuming and sometimes not well attended. So you're proposing, or the group is proposing, coffee chats. That is good. I think about when you think of the terms of reference, we had put that we want that we require at least 3 non-Congress activities. But of course, the mode of the activity is to be decided by the working group according to needs. It can be coffee chats, it can be forums, or it can be webinars. But still, for the webinars, I think we don't have to do webinars all the time, but some of the webinars are quite well attended. And the feedback, you know, in the feedbacks of the SWOT analysis, there was education, education, education. So I think still webinars are maybe we don't need to have 3 webinars all the time, but it could be 1 webinar and 1 coffee chat and 1 interview with an expert in the field, for example, according in that area. But still, I think we shall not say that webinars, we may need some webinars, or some of the webinars I think still are well attended and the feedback is good. So I think it would be good to have a balance of webinars and other coffee chats and that kind of thing, but still 3 non-Congress activities so that the members are engaged. And thank you to all, and especially to you, Sagir and Federico.
Yeah, thank you so much, Regina. Definitely. Yeah, that's very valid point. It's up to the leaders how they can engage and connect with the working group members. So even the webinar format could be different, like making it a discussion, interactive session, or making a state-of-art lecture. So it could be variable based on the needs or any special perspective for each working group. So it's up to the leaders, of course, in connection with the members. Yes, Federico?
There's a question in the chat by Richard Niacon. It says, can the GNH scholarship be carried forward to the next Congress for an awardee who could not attend the last Congress because of visa challenge? Perhaps we can address this at the end and continue with the presentations, but I wanted to let you know of the question. Thank you.
No, Federico, that's not doable actually, because each year the abstracts are the main basis of scholarships. So if somebody hasn't availed that opportunity in last year, they must have to submit something new, and that should be peer reviewed, scored, and then reviewed as a part of relevance and whatsoever. So it's not carried forward to the next year because each year is different. So there are a lot of people who couldn't make it to Hawaii, but let's see, Amsterdam will be a much better location for Africa and Asia at least. So we ask you to submit your abstracts, maybe some better abstracts to get more chances again to win the scholarships. I think that answers the question.
Yes, thank you for the clarification.
Right. So we requested the working group leaders to share what are their plans for 2025. Because it's the first meeting. So we are all well structured, being a small number of working groups. It was one time it was 18, and now it is cut down to 7. So having lesser are more chances of getting more organized. So let's hear from the working group leaders how they're thinking and how they are going to approach this 2025 in terms of activities or engagement. So these slides are based on I received from them, the leaders. So let me ask Gabby to start, and of course we need to listen to her about her input about coffee chats and others. Gabby, over to you, and Rosanna if she is also there.
Yeah, hi everyone. I think I sent a slide. If not, I can share it myself. Oh, should I share?
I'm displaying. It's all in slide deck. So you can, this is your slide, right?
I cannot see any slides. I don't know if it's just me.
We
I
can
can
see
see
the
the
slide.
slide.
You can all see it, but me.
Okay, let me reshare. Let me reshare the screen again.
Gabby, if it's a single slide, maybe Sarir can share and you can just put
Yeah,
it
I
on your
can. Is that one?
talk about it.
Can you see it now, Gabby?
Yes, that how I can see it.
Okay, yeah,
Uh,
please go ahead.
So I will just read a little bit what we created here with Rosanna and kind of like contribute a little bit more with the emails that I sent as part of the feedback. So what we are doing in terms of member engagement, we hold monthly meetings with a group of a group of members of our working group that they are more engaged and they actually show some interest in participating in the activities. When I said that thing about the webinars, it's just we had a really hard time reaching to a broad audience. Like if we were lucky, honestly, sometimes we have 30, 40 people, but usually less than that. And it was very time consuming. So we were trying to select, instead of trying to go to do more quantity related activities, just to do quality related with the people that actually show an interest. So we can plan activities that we can actually move forward and have a result to show. So we are having these meetings every month and they're very productive. In some of those meetings, it's when that idea of having these charlas de café or coffee chats came up. So those are short interviews that we do to people about very specific AYA topics that will not be otherwise included in an oncology congress or in other like pediatric congress. There are things about sexuality or access to care or like how to do transition of care from pediatric to adults, things like that. So those are interviews that we do online with a Zoom meeting, and then we create short videos and we post them on the SIOP YouTube channel and on Onco Daily. So we already have 3 interviews done. One of them, it's already live last year, and we are now about to upload the other 2. The idea for us is to do at least 4 more this year, and hoping that that will count as a webinar. This format, we believe it will help us with time zones, because it was always for webinars for us quite challenging to find a day and a time zone that was like something that worked out for everyone. So this is something that people could watch at their own, like whenever they have a time available to do it. We would like at some point to try to do this in the form of a podcast, because I think that's a lot of, it's a format that is more suitable for a lot of people, but we don't have that ability right now, but it's kind of like the idea that we have in mind. In terms of collaborations, we try, because we're adolescents and young adults, we try to create some collaborations with adult international societies and to reach out to all those adult international societies where AYA is not part of their agenda. Because AYA is something that we talk a lot in pediatrics, but it's not something that is part of the conversation when you talk to adult oncologists elsewhere. So we already went to 2 adult congresses, one in Brazil and in Paraguay, and the idea is to try to bridge that gap between pediatrics and adults by just spreading the word. And that is like the local champions programs that we are trying to implement, just to find in someone from adult and pediatrics at each country and try to have like a very small intervention or like a more small session, if possible, in the adult congresses at each country. And then in terms of research, we developed a global survey to identify barriers and opportunities in AYA care that was approved by the SIOP board. I think I got the email this morning. So we're going to send it out to all SIOP members, but also to adult oncologists around the world to get an idea of what is the perception of AYA care and what are the resources available. And also to get to know who treats adolescents and young adults everywhere, because that is not something that it's known. And those are our plans for 2025.
Hi, thank you so much, Gabby. This looks so great. I have a couple of questions in my mind about that interview. Is it like a one-on-one session or the other folks can also join or yeah.
Those interviews is usually the person that we're interviewing, and it's Rosanna and I, and usually some other member of the working group. We might switch that because the way it looks on the screen when you have 4 people, it's a little bit odd. So we might switch to do one-to-one person, kind of like an interview you would do, like the ones that you would see on TV, kind of thing.
So maybe,
But
I don't know, just a suggestion, could it be like a webinar format, like people can listen? But it is live, right? It's not like a questionnaire you give and then you ask.
No, it's live. We
Ah.
meet, we coordinate with that person Monday 10th, 5 p.m. and we all meet. We record that, and but there are no slides, so the person
Right.
doesn't really need to be prepare any presentation. And it's not like we got feedback from other webinars from the speakers that they felt quite uncomfortable with the format, that they were like kind of like talking to a computer and didn't know there was no interaction, and they didn't know there was a question if the computer was working or not. So this is more like a conversation. We do send the speakers like a set of questions and saying, this is what we're interested in asking. Do you feel comfortable with that? Especially because some of the people we interview, they are survivors. So just like to be sensitive and not about the questions that they are feeling comfortable answering or not. But yeah, the format can vary.
Right. I just wondered, I see couple of hands raised. Just a suggestion, maybe could be like a webinar format where the 2 people are talking. Interview and
webinar.
interviewer, and the other people can be listening silently. They don't have as we do the the other webinars by SIOP portal. So other working group members can also join and they can listen what's going on and they can write their questions just as a text. So probably
No,
that
it
would
could
be a
be
better
a
format.
webinar. The time zone will be whatever is convenient for the speaker.
Yeah, of course.
It's the only
It should be
thing.
speaker and interviewer, both.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, no, that can totally be as a form of a webinar. I would say that if it is a webinar, it should be in a way that they can participate, like the way it is right now, where we can see whoever is participating and people can turn on their cameras and raise their hands and ask a question. The other format sometimes that we have where all the cameras are off and you don't know how many people are listening to you, that I think might be a little bit uncomfortable. Or at least that's my experience and the feedback that I got from
I
others.
think for as we do for Displan, for instance, so it's like only the people who are in the presenter interface, they're speaking. Others are just silently listening. They don't have the option to switch on their cameras or microphones, but they can still ask the question. So it will be like a twofold benefits. One is those who are actively there to listen. And the other thing, of course, that will be recorded and go to the YouTube channel. So the live participation as a live streaming, we can say, without any active interaction, probably that will give more benefit. That's just a suggestion. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have
Well,
another point about survey, but I see Regine and then Federico, their hand raised. Regine first.
Gabi and Shushan, congratulations to both of you. I think this is a good, nice format. But I also support Sagir in that it is good. For example, you have one on the YouTube channel, you said. How many, do you know how many times it was listened to? At the moment?
No, I think
Because
you
you
asked
can,
Hetty.
yeah, you can
Because I
ask
don't have access
Hussein
to
and
those
Ali
numbers.
about it. I think this is very important, but people usually go back and listen when they are making a presentation or they have a patient and they're, for example, looking for a brain tumor treatment and that kind of thing. So it may be, as Zagir said, if this interviews, I mean, like you put the topic and you do the it can be in the interview format, but if it is like a webinar, the ones that are in the same time zone, maybe they can listen to it actively and then interactively ask their questions. And it will be in the YouTube channel anyway, so that the ones that could not have, didn't have the chance to listen to them could afterwards listen to it. At least you can just see how many times it was listened, the interview that you have already posted. And then maybe try one in the other way. I mean, we are okay with whatever you want, but just to have more, it is such an effort for the speaker also to do the interview. So
Yeah.
it could be more people listening to it. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the suggestions. That's a good idea.
Hi everyone. Sorry, just for my camera out. Just to add and to clear up, we are not anti-webinars here. So we actually are planning one webinar about the fertility issues. The only thing is that we are going to plan something big and very important to be happen. And this Charlas de Cafe were very important for us. And I don't know why we made it like one interviewer and only the person whom we are interviewing. But this kind, especially the first person was the survival. This kind of makes an non-stressing, non-frustrating a situation for them, and they were more comfortable. Or this was just our opinion. I don't know, but this way was more comfortable for them to speak about everything, because if more people are joining, probably they won't speak so much or be so comfortable. I don't know. So it depends probably on the speaker and the situation. But the thing is that yes, we are planning some webinars, but this is gonna be like 2 per year probably, in my opinion. If you will add something at Gabby, please.
Yeah, no, I think that's correct. I guess when we do the charlas de cafe, we can ask the speakers and whoever if they feel comfortable to have a live session, like as a webinar. And if it's a survivor or a patient, they can decide. If it's a doctor, a nurse, or someone else like from the medical field, I guess they will be fine with a webinar. It's not personal for them, not in the same way.
No, actually, Rosanna and Gabby, my point was not like making it as a webinar. I was talking about webinar format.
For webinar format,
Webinar
yeah.
format for SIOP.
So they could see it live.
Posting. Yeah, it will be only interview as you are doing, but there will be
Okay.
people who will be listening directly at the same time. They won't
Okay.
be enabled cameras or microphones, but they can write a question in chat. So that
Okay.
would make it more interactive instead. That's my point. It will be engagement, live engagement also for some folks.
Okay. No.
And also one thing, sorry, Federico, I just got like one more comment is there any possibility you can announce during the interview that if people are listening to YouTube, they can write comments on SIOP YouTube channel, and that is handed over to you and the interviewee. So you can answer the questions there on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we need to talk to Jesse to know how. Yeah, but we can just put it there where we say that way we record the interview. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Federico, please go ahead.
Gabby and Rosanna, do you know Alicia Alvarez?
Yep.
Oh, well, she's going to publish a manuscript, and she did an interview to pediatric hematologists, oncologists, and adult oncologists in Latin America. So perhaps
It's someone we would like to interview.
Okay, great.
That's a great suggestion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, Alicia was the pioneer of this working group. So
Exactly. Yeah,
definitely,
she was the co-chair.
yeah. She was the first co-chair, because when we invented this group in 2019, so she was the first one to take over. Yeah, take as a leadership role. And about the survey, it's really survey is always a good, way to interact with the people and getting some information. So is that survey got endorsement from SIOP endorsement committee? Because so it's done already. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, we did all that.
Right. Thank you so much, Gabby. Is there any other question in the chat, or anyone else has hand raised? I don't see anything. No, Federico? Okay. Thank you so much, Gabby, and thank you, Rosanna. And this is really something unique you guys are doing, and it will be very successful. And maybe some other working groups can also take similar sort of things, just to not be monotonous, So just changing the technique or different format, it might be more working. Yeah, I agree with you that it's not always a good number of participants, so that makes frustration for those who are doing a lot of efforts. So thank you so much. I appreciate. Okay, let me invite Ahmed. Ahmed, you are with us.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, please go ahead for traditional and complementary medicine.
Yes, at first we have a new co-chair with us, or with me, is Roberto Campos from Chile. We will start working together from the next week directly. We are very happy and proud to involve Professor Dr. Regine Kibouti with us. She will give a very interesting presentation about the integrative and complementary treatments in supportive care for pediatric oncology. Then we have planned the next meetings until June this year. In March, Roberto Campos will speak about the use of traditional complementary medicine in pediatric oncology in Chile. And then in May, I have invited an expert advanced practice nurse, Katja Ballenberg, to speak about the use of traditional complementary medicine in Germany and in Switzerland. From the other hand, we are working in our research papers, manuscripts, about the use of traditional complementary medicine, a qualitative and also another quantitative study from Jordan and a qualitative study from Northern Egypt. We have planned for this SIOP meeting. It was already planned last year to have a keynote lecture from our ex-co-chair person, Dr. Mohammed Al-Qudaimat, about the fostering a culture of pediatric safety, about the use of traditional complementary medicine with children and families. I think it is postponed until this SIOP meeting. I hope it will be presented in this next meeting. These are our plans and our current working.
Right. Thank you so much, Ahmed, and welcome on board, Roberto. It's all good, but what about the general clubs you guys were doing? Is it interrupted or you're still continuing that activity? I think it was more interactive for folks to join. So what's the current status, Ahmed?
Which activity exactly? Sorry?
You were doing journal club, right? Journal club
Yes.
meetings. Yeah,
Yes.
is yeah.
It's already, there is also present, but we are doing a meeting every 2 months, and now it's reserved for the next months until May for these meetings with experts from different areas.
Right. And is there any improvement in the attendance, participant numbers, or what's your experience?
It's about 100 members, but the main thing it's about the actively members. This will be our first meeting since the last SIOP conference, so we will see that in the next period.
Right. Okay. So that should be maybe across the working group or maybe across the network. We should advertise it massively so that the folks know that this is all going on.
Yes, I will see, because I have talked with Roberto Campos, because he is working to add much new people from South America. There were deficiency in the last years from participants from this area. I hope that they will be increased in the next time.
And you guys are using SIOP Connect to disseminate the advertisements.
Yes, sure.
Maybe some bigger webinars that can be put in SIOP GHN, SIOP Connect also. So we can advertise so that everyone in the GHN is aware that this activity is going on. Although that is publicized over news, this weekly bulletin, and also on the
WhatsApp
social
group.
media channels. But still we can propagate it in 1100 GHN members. So we can devise some strategy to publicize such activities for all the GHN members, in addition to the working group members.
Yes, sure.
Regine?
Zagir, I support you. Yes, I think it is very good to advertise it through the Global Health Network Connect and also the WhatsApp group, because sometimes people are very, they don't have time to look at the details of the weekly bulletin and so on. So it will be nice to be advertised within the Global Health Network. Thank you for suggesting that. Yeah.
Yeah, even the WhatsApp group, which is for GHN, so it's also, I don't know, it's difficult to find out whether it's all SIOP members or not, but at least we can try to use it for WhatsApp and also the Connect. So SIOP Connect handle, you can send to both of us and also Tessie, so we can publicize it more massively. So of course, these are the working group activities, but these can be for benefit for everyone within within the whole network. Right. So thank you so much, Ahmed.
Thank
Do we have Roberto with us? Want to make some comment or some suggestion if he's around? No, okay. Okay,
No, I
thank
don't
you so
see-
much, Ahmed. He's here? Okay, okay, khalas. Okay, so let's go to the next working group, psychosocial well-being. We have Ayushi with us or Elisa? I saw
Yes.
Elisa.
Hi,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
Hi,
please go
everyone.
ahead.
A very happy new year to everyone. So last year has been quite extensive year for us as a psychosocial well-being group. We were part of SIOP 2024, and very graciously we were able to organize one of the sessions on the educational day. Plans for this year would be, we're very happy that the membership engagement has increased to 132 members in the WhatsApp group, and we have nearly more than 500 members connected with us through the SIOP Connect. Last time we were having a lot of issues while organizing the webinars because the attendance used to be quite low because again, the participants and members are from different time zones. But from the past 2 sessions that we had, the educational webinars, our attendance has been quite constant with almost 30 to 40 participants being there actively engaging in the session. So we had one session in December and the title was Psychopharmacology in Pediatric Oncology. And Dr. Andrew Elliott from St. Jude was the facilitator for that session, and it was very well attended. The second session we had recently on the 22nd of Jan about universal assessment and interventions. Again, it was taken by Dr. Elise Heidelberg from St. Jude. And we have 2 more educational webinars scheduled for the upcoming 2 months. We are trying to have these webinars at least once a month in order to, again, have more members engaged with our group. And we have also planned to send out a small feedback form post these educational sessions so that we can better understand what are the members' needs and what do they expect from the working group so that we can again have more members engaged with us, not just in terms of participants, but actively participating. And we have one meeting planned next week with the co-chairs of the PPO group, the Pediatric Psycho-Oncology group, to see how better we can collaborate with them to widen the scope of the psychosocial care and also the research aspect. So these are our short-term goals. We have only planned it till the March. And then once we have the meeting with the PPO group members, the co-chairs, probably the agendas can be more advanced.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Ayushi. That's a good thing that you are interacting and trying to get engaged with PPO. So it will be of great benefit, I hope.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
get going. And thanks for your contributions. All those who did for joint session. I have listened the recording. It was really good session. Congratulations for your
Thank
contributions,
you so
Michael, Caitlin, and you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And these activities are going to be uploaded on SIOP YouTube, right?
Right.
recording.
So the recordings are already with Tessie and they upload whenever they get the time on YouTube channel. Yes.
Perfect. Any questions or suggestions for Ayushi? And Elisa, if you have any further comments or thoughts?
Alisa is somewhere out for some work, so that's why I have taken on behalf of her. So yeah.
Okay, right. So did we find any questions in the chat box, Federico?
No questions, no questions. Let me
Okay.
see. Thank you. Looking forward to collaborating with everybody. No, no questions.
Okay, okay. Right. So partnership working group. So we have Caesar with us. Caesar, are you with us? Or yeah, he's you are
Yes, I
muted.
am. I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, let me 1 second. I'm going to be relatively brief, and I think that there have been many issues for which I need to be brief. I'm sorry. Could you present the previous slide? Part of the reason is, and I think
Yeah,
that Sagir already did the presentation of Dr. Mahmoud Motaz Belli from Egypt as a new co-chair, and we have to express our gratitude to Nita Radhakrishnan that did a fantastic job as a co-chair. Next, please. Part of the things that we have been working with a lot of people, and I have to mention Guillermo, Rajin, and Tessie, was to create the new terms of reference for the group. That has been a huge modification in terms of what will be and what are our goals. Because there has been an adaptation, there has been a progress. The way that the global health network is moving allow us to do different things now, and perhaps concepts that we had before has been changed, also the principles are the same. Now, in these terms of reference, after several months of working with meetings almost every week, we get to some elements, and later we discussed with Sagir and Federico, and everybody was in agreement. And this is more or less the purpose. And it's to help, and I'm going to read just a few seconds, to help the continental presidents and identify new strategies in relationships and collaborations. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that came into this is that the engagement of the pediatric oncology societies. In that scenario, that's what we are doing. So next, please. And this is our focus. The new societies, there will be institutional partnership, other opportunities. We are linking with the members to try to improve this. And I'm going to pass very quickly from this slide. We are working in service of line that they will be disease specific and other areas of particularly technology and cancer registers. Next, please. Thank you again. Next. So part of the proof of principle, this is an idea that may work working with Tessie and Nita. That was amazing that we were able to get the Indian Society of Pediatric Oncology. They did a wonderful presentation at the end of September, as just in the transition. And before our meeting, the attendance was relatively low, and after this, the way that was presented, the way that was designed with different two speakers, actually it was well received with more than 110 participants. Next. With the new co-chair with Dr. Mahmoud Motaz, we have discussed several ideas that have been facilitated, some of these elements by Tessie, other directly with Dr. Mahmoud. In this moment, we are in the planning stage to do the same type of webinar with Latin America. That was one of the ideas that came We have been already discussing with the Brazilian Society of Pediatric Oncology, SIOP, and they are selecting the topics for the new webinar that most likely will be around March. We have explored as well other societies like Argentina and Colombia. Colombia is a little busy right now with the SIOP meeting. So that will be something for the future. Mahmoud is working with the engagement of the society from Egypt. And also we already have discussions with Africa in order to engage them, Africa as a continent, and also with some of the specific country-related societies. One of the things that we discussed with Mahmoud, and he brings the idea that is a work in progress, is to do like a partnership letter that we can distribute through SIOP Connect in order to get a little more information on where we are perhaps in a more timely fashion. We are in the process to determine frequency and the format. Most likely will be like a one-page element that we can distribute. And I think that is part of the way that we are thinking that we can engage more people in the active participation for the society, for the group. Next. And that's all the things that I have to tell you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cesar. That India Spotlight, I think that was really good session. So probably some more countries, as you said, maybe Egypt coming up, or Latin American countries. So people sharing their progresses and their advancements, especially for the low and middle income countries. This is always, I think, that's a learning opportunity for others. So thank you for leading, and of course, Nita, thank you for your efforts, and welcome on board, Mahmoud. Are you with us? You want to say something, Mahmoud? I don't see him. Just a suggestion. I don't know, it will be within the scope of what national groups you are going to engage. So could there be something like choosing some nation who has already a GICC country and just engaging WHO and just discussing about what are the barriers to get engaged with WHO GICC for those who haven't still connected. So maybe WHO could be engaged in that way, especially for the countries with the low resources. So I don't know. That's just an idea came in my mind, if that's doable in the future.
I think that is a good idea, Sagir. I think that we can explore how we can engage. And at the end of the day, this is all about partnership. And I think that you have noticed that now other people start to come with the same ideas to try to engage different societies. And I think that this is more or less part of the way to go. And I think that this idea that start to be shaped by a few colleagues suddenly is getting more traction in different components of the global health. I think that probably I think that Regina is here. She was a tremendous effort, Guillermo, and again, Tessie, in order to get a little more structure. And we did the analysis before, and definitely the idea was that we need to move. We need to bring a different perspective. And I think that engagement, other elements, and we have to be mindful as well, because we don't want to get into this situation that we are doing exactly what other groups are doing. There is already a component of SIOP directly interacting with WHO. So we have to be mindful of this scenario. So, and I think that is part of the issue that we have to face. So may not be elements that may work as fast as we wanted. because it's not an easy to engage. But at the end of the day, there's another concept associated with this. It's not only the scientific and academic and educational component, it's also that we are trying to engage people from the societies in order to increase the membership as well for SIOP. So I think that there are different components here, and this element that we are seeing right now that normally we don't think in terms of membership, I think that we need to address, and that's not necessarily mean that we are doing the membership job. No, is we are. I think that we are bringing the people, telling, look, this is SIOP, this is what we are doing, and that is your decision. If what you're seeing is something that is useful for you and for the future, so if that is the case, then you have go to the next step.
Right, great. Regine, your hand is raised. Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks a lot to Cesar and Nita. Really, they worked very hard, and we had a lot of meetings before that, as he said.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but it was at the end, it was very
Yes.
good. The terms of reference were written, and the first seminar was really very, very successful. And we had some members, new members, after that seminar in SIOP, I think. And Ellie and Tessa will maybe confirm that. So I think it is a good way to start at least. And within those seminars, we have also put that the people that are not SIOP members, but are part of the national working groups, national, for example, whichever country that is, there was a separate link sent to them so that they could listen, so that they know more about SIOP, so that they had a chance to see what SIOP is doing. I think it worked good. And also disease-specific groups. I think, Cesar, you were working on that as well, right? Other
Yes.
national groups, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so
We
much.
call it, yes, we call it line of service, and that will be
Yeah.
something more specific. And I think that will something that will help to attract more people to everything that we are doing in terms of the global health.
Thank you.
Right, perfect. Thank you, Cesar. I don't know,
Thank you.
this is not mentioned in when we were discussing about terms of reference, but I did practice like giving a short talk to a national society meeting. I'm not sure about the outcome, just sharing about what SIOP is doing, what GHN is doing, just sharing as a virtual talk. I delivered one talk in for Bangladesh Society of Pediatric Oncology meeting, and just recently in Russian society meeting also. So this is also just the countries where there is less membership to SIOP, so we can give a little bit introduction and incentives to get engaged to the SIOP. So we can try to find out national societies meeting and try to get engaged with them with the small talks. Yeah. Right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Cesar, for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Let's move to palliative care. Michael, are you with us?
Mike had to leave to an INA meeting, the same as Catherine Duffy, but I don't know if Miriam is, I don't see her.
Mira said that she will join, but she was also having some commitment.
Mirai was traveling, but she was here with us a few minutes ago. I don't know if she is abroad and maybe on her way.
I apologize. So we don't have
Okay.
none of the co-chairs for the palliative care.
So if they have sent their
Yeah, this is
maybe
the
you can
slide they
just
sent
go over
already.
it, yeah.
473 members. So they are engaged with St. Jude Palliative Oncology Symposium, advocacy, education, collaboration, and research activities on various levels. And then educational webinar, they're going to do it on 30th of January.
As Mirai works with me, I know a lot about what they're doing. Can you go back to the other slide? I can just, as you said, last year they did the webinars, 2 webinars, one for providing palliative care for children with cancer with a perspective from a large lower middle income country, India. And the second was palliative care for central nervous systems by Resham from Pakistan, one from India, one from Pakistan. In fact, Mira had started in October, so they had 2 webinars until during 2024. And then if you can move on to the other. And the next webinars on January, this will be rescheduled because on January 30th, Tessie said there are 2 or 3 SIOP webinars, so they will reschedule it for February. In February, they'll have a palliative care in bone and soft tissue tumors, and an orthopedic surgeon, a competitive orthopedic surgeon, will be talking about it. And they have planned some webinars within the year and some case discussions. Just to read, just to.
And they were actively involved in that session, joint session during SIOP
Yeah.
Hawaii meeting also.
Yeah.
Okay.
You as a Global Health Network had arranged
Education Day.
on Education Day. I
Yeah.
think it was quite well attended and quite interactive. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
to you all.
Yeah. Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you, Regin, for just summarizing. Then let's go to pros. Bilal.
I'm requesting Joki to start the
Okay.
discussion, and
Yeah,
then I
please,
can add
Joki.
on.
Good. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. So in this working group with Bilal, so what we've done in 2024, we have engagement with our members in WhatsApp, especially in Africa and other LMIC countries. For now, we have done our quarterly CMEs between PROS and the team in Essen from June. The last one we had was in December on medulloblastomas, and our participants have ranged from 30 to 50 for the various CMEs, but more than 100 are registered, and they are to continue every quarter in 2025. We held our education day at SIOP 2024 in Honolulu. We also had an education session at SIOP Africa in 2024 that was held in Johannesburg with about 40 participants. We are then starting a new online education series with SIOP Africa to healthcare providers, and that's due to start in March 2025. Various topics that are going to be covered, especially in multidisciplinary management of children with certain malignancies. And of course, through PROS, there were scholarships that were provided for LMIC attendees to attend PROS 2024 in Sydney this year. And then in terms of collaborations, we have from PROS 2024, we also established links with teams in South America, and we are hoping to start some lecture series on the same. I think the issue here was language, but most of the participants will be proficient in English with some translation services if needed. And of course, the continued collaborations with the regional professional bodies, mainly for now in Sub-Saharan Africa. Bilal has some in Asia, and of course now looking at the linkages in South America. I think Bilal will take us through the plans we have for 2025. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pauline, for this. I'm glad that Dr. Pauline has worked a lot, taking Janet Park's work forward, and we continue to have support from Natia and many other colleagues from Iran, Mitra, and her team from Mehek Children's Hospital. And particularly in Africa, we do have a nice group with maybe some of you know Edidayo Jolo from Nigeria. So we do have plans coming up in addition to the African project upcoming in March 2025 for Sub-Saharan Africa. We do try to collaborate and push into the regional meetings, which includes MESTRO, the Middle Eastern Society, which would hopefully be in Middle East again this year, maybe in Saudi or UAE. The upcoming Pediatric Oncology Eastern Mediterranean region meeting in Jordan, Amman, and most importantly, we have heard from colleagues from Latin America for the support they require for radiation oncology there on behalf of SLOP. So hopefully Prof would collaborate and then try to have it there. So just an announcement that PROS has taken a decision to hold the 2026 meeting in the 2026 PROS meeting would be in Cancun, Mexico. So Natia is initiating the mentorship program. She already leads the IAA Edumode project to create educational content for different for radiotherapy for different disease related things. Hodgkin's is almost near completion, and then we'll be embarking on other sites. So update on ARIA from our side. Hodgkin's is completed and launched on web portal with AMG. Next coming up is low-grade glioma and ALL, and for radiotherapy, we are actively working on rhabdomyosarcoma, retinoblastoma, and neuroblastoma are near completion, and medulloblastoma and WILMs are up next. Myself and Nadia has been representing and working for the referral pathways and system series lectures and bringing in the radiotherapy section into it. And then there have been some conversations with CathLab to help bring up radiation oncologists from different regions to collaborate for the radiotherapy section for the essential requirements for WHO GICC, your all regional packages. Hopefully, we'll try to find some resources to have radiotherapy radiation oncologists attend the SIOP 2025 meeting, because this one is a combined meeting between with SIOP and Pediatric Radiation Oncology Society, and I believe everyone knows about the SIOP Global Standardization Project. We have a very established radiation oncologist from University of Florida, Daniel and Alicato, and myself representing there. So those are some of the things, and obviously, again, I would like to emphasize the webinar series, which would continue in 2025 as well. The next one is a lecture on rhabdomyosarcoma in March. These lecture series are being organized in collaboration with West Germany Proton, ESEN, and PROS Working Group of SIOP Global Health Network. And I must mention that this was initiated by Edita Joseph from Nigeria. So glad. Each session has been very successful with around 400 registrations each session, and usually the attendance at each center has been around 150. So we are all excited about it, and many people ask for the link for the recorded section, and I'm sure that they are being accessed on YouTube too.
Hi, thank you so much, Bilal. Thank you, Joki, for updating and a great efforts ongoing for radiation oncology. Thanks a lot. Any questions or suggestions from?
Nothing on the chat.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Bilal, both of you.
So one query, Dr. Sari, from our side, that at SIOP Global Health Network, we used to have the educational session or working group session rotating between working groups, and it used to be quite a while that each working group gets a chance, because we were just having myself and Joki were there at the PROS Executive Committee meeting, and Anita Marchan was talking about the PROS session. So we wonder, we always have a PROS LMIC IAA session on the PROS agenda. We wonder if that could be on the GHN Education Day or on the PROS schedule. So if you could guide us regarding that.
Bilal, we haven't received the slots, the confirmed slots for Education Day, but informally I got this information from Suzanne, but that's not a confirmed information, that we would have additional 2 sessions on last day. So Hawaii was a different meeting. So because we had only 1 session for the working groups, that was done by 3 working groups together. So let's see if we have 6 sessions in total, then we will of course ask the working groups to submit their proposals as and when we get the final information about the session numbers, the number of slots we would have. So definitely we will let you know.
Because the last one I believe we did was
in Barcelona.
In Barcelona, so it has been quite a while since.
Yeah, we'll let you know, because Hawaii we did not ask the working groups because of very little number of slots. So, but of course, we'll try to disseminate this information when we have, and maybe as you did with I think palliative care working group, maybe some working groups combined together. That is more effective way. We have learned this.
So there's
So
been an idea to do it with IPSO colleagues, so that it's kind of a collaborative thing. And then, of course, if there are ideas from other working groups, myself.
yeah,
and-
maybe this plan. Let's see how the things go, because IPSO will be part of that at one time. It's still in pilot. Definitely, that's worth discussion. I will let you know for all the working groups too when we have the final session plans.
And we still need to get into conversation or finalize the discipline sessions for SIOP Asia separately.
Yeah, I'm coming to that point. That's the next part of the slides. Thank you, Bilal, once again. Do we have Caitlin with us? Because I didn't
She
receive the
left.
slides from.
No, she left and she had a
Okay.
meeting at 9, the same as Mike.
Right. So we didn't have their slides, so I will ask them to update us what's their plan, because there is a new leader. Shushan has joined with her as a new leader. Venki already stepped down. Okay, so next is this disease specific portal for learning and networking that is initiated. So you have seen this a nice logo, which is actually from SIOP GHN logo. So that reminds us Michael Sullivan and all those who contributed to the SIOP GHN logo. So we just put the background and it's there. So as we discussed before, and it was discussed during SIOP Hawaii meeting also, it's a new initiative to provide additional learning avenues for SIOP members. Learning forum on various aspects of care directed but not limited to WHO index cancers. Various learning sessions which are we are going to plan at the case discussion based discussions, diagnosis and referral pathways, access to care, advanced diagnostics and therapeutic modalities. Invited faculty are of course the SIOP members with enormous experience and expertise. This is we called as disease experts, and this plan will potentially enhance SIOP membership engagement and contribute to professional nurturing of SIOP GHN members. So this plan team includes the SIOP GHN steering group, which includes pros representation. It's basically based on the volunteers who actually agreed to contribute. So it's already include Bilal and Gabby and a couple more people. Then we have SIOP General Secretary. She's very generous, of course. Regine is part of it. And disease experts, so far we have two disease experts, one on neuro-oncology. It's Noreen Mushtaq from Pakistan, and other is on Wilms tumor history in Israel. Both are very famous on their disciplines. And one representative from IPSO we haven't actually contacted, still need to be formalized. One representative from ISOO for retinoblastoma, that is also pending. And one from each continental branches. We have representation from SIOP Asia nominated by Givog is Garrick from Russia. Then we have SIOP Europe representation, Helena. And then we have representation from Oceania is Trisha. So other continents still are pending. And then up to 3 GHN nominated members, including the former leaders or GHN working group leaders, that is also still pending. So this is the list of the people who already volunteered themselves on the link on the SIOP website. There is a page generated on SIOP website on the SIOP discipline. So it's a pilot phase. Pilot phase started from December 2024. It will be a 6 months until end of May. So basically, this all is focusing on globalizing the already existing smaller and regional groups on disease-specific learning, especially the neuro-oncology. We have done one very successful webinar. We're going to do the second on the neuro-oncology again. So this plan team will coordinate education day session that is also part of pilot, along with international local SIOP Asia organizers during SIOP Asia 2025. which is going to be on 12th of April in Riyadh. So you can see the logo and the QR code for that conference. So that discipline will be one day. I'm just going to that. And then after May, we would have ultimate goals are expansion of the project to non-English or to engage global representation, connection with other projects within SIOP and SIOP continental branches, and actively interact with key global stakeholders and childhood cancer initiatives. So we are taking the feedback together. We have the feedback from the first webinar, and the second is going to follow. So this was very successful low-grade glioma. That was with great speaker Eric Buffet. So we had more than 200 participants. It was very interactive session, a lot of questions. Even we were just trying to find the questions which needs to be answered and which we could be left behind. So it was like around 50 questions we received, and some of questions were directed to Eric Buffet to respond on the email. So that was very, very interactive and very nice session. So the recording is already available on YouTube, so you guys can see that. The second is following up. It's the 31st of January. Next Friday is coming on medulloblastoma. Should molecular subgrouping change our management? So again, Noreen is leading. She's moderating along with Ataur Rahman Maaz from Qatar. And we have the case presentation, and then we would have invited speaker from US, Mariam Foladi. So do join us. There is a registration link already there. It's already propagated over SIOP YouTube, SIOP social media channels, and you might have received email also. Then we have a plan to do Hodgkin's in February, Wilms tumor in March, and then there will be SIOP Asia Education Day, and then there will be ALL session, and last will be retinoblastoma session. So these are in the pilot phase of this project. So about the education day, so those who are attending or will try, I'm not sure whether it will be hybrid, but maybe we can do it as a live stream. So we have 2 tracks for this plan. One track is on Burkitt's, Hodgkin's, ALL, and other is Wilms tumor, retinoblastoma, and brain tumors, so all WHO 6 index cancers. And there will be some open forum in the end for open discussion with the experts. So and also we have, that is we couldn't discuss it, but we'll see the mail shot about it. The track 3 is on research, which will be focusing on abstracts, those who submitted the abstracts and approved, and then mentorship and clinical trials. So this discussion will be case report based. So we will ask for the submission of the case abstracts on the case reports just a couple of weeks after this, maybe in second week of February, and we will select 2 cases for each of these 6 sessions, and then there will be discussion based on the discussion. The person presenting, and then we would have multidisciplinary team present. So speakers we are taking from most of the conference speakers, and some who are from discipline if they are attending, and moderators will also be local professionals or discipline team. So basically diagnosis, radiation oncology, and surgery will be part of these sessions. So this is about discipline. So I'm quite excited that we would have a lot more to come. And let's see. We need to advertise it massively, and of course, hopefully the SIOP Asia will be like a pilot for getting something in continental branches on such like outlines. So any suggestions or points? Yeah, I see some. Any comments or suggestions from anywhere? We already like 1 minute over time. Or any other points to share before we adjourn this meeting? Right. So if there are no further comments, then we can adjourn. Thank you so much once again for joining this first quarterly meeting of 2025. We would look forward to have a very, very efficient and impactful global health network year for this year in terms of communication, engagement, and active education, advocacy, and research. Thanks for joining, and we'll keep connected on to various
What about
needs.
the group picture?
Yeah, we can do it. We can always do it. So I don't see all participants on
Yeah,
my
many
thing.
people have left.
Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe those I can't see all. I don't know. This screen view is different. Otherwise, we can capture who are already there.
Yeah, maybe you can.
If you try to switch on your cameras, I can try to take some photos.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Please switch on your cameras, those who are already there. Maybe we can ask AI to capture the picture.
Yeah. Thanks to all. I have to go.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you for
thank you.
joining. Take
Bye.
care. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.